Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Welcome back to the installment in the Quickview series, and we are finally, and I guess I should say finally because we tested the 1.9, what feels like a long time ago, 4 or 5 months ago. We're finally getting to the Rhino MOZA 2.2, and before we get any further into this, I have to give props to Rhino for just throwing convention directly out of the window. The 1.9 Rhino MOZA is a completely different tire from the Rhino MOZA 2.2. They might share compound in common, but they share nothing else. They don't even look remotely alike. In general, if there's a 1.9 version and a 2.2 version, the easiest exhibition I can make. This is a 1.9 Canyon Trail, and this is a 2.2 Canyon Trail. You see how it's the same tire, just one's bigger than the other? This doesn't look anything like the 1.9. Also, the 2.2 comes with a dual stage foam, and we're good with that because it's in that super compy comp squat bro width, typical of Proline Ibex, bully comps, tires like that. I don't have a surplus of foams for that particular tire. This one also has a sidewall about the thickness of your fingernail. So it feels tacky, but we're dealing with a dual stage where the outer section is magician soft. Like they squish down to nothing. We have almost nothing there, which generally when paired with a carcass this soft, and then the inner is about the thickness of an outer that would come on like an Injora dual stage with the rubber inner. Also, I don't know if you noticed how easy this was. They don't really fit together great. So I have a fear that this part is just gonna, minimal pressure, and they just slide apart. That's not a thing you want happening inside the tire. And do you recall back to a few moments ago when I mentioned that the sidewall is about the thickness of your fingernail? If you come with a dual stage, and that dual stage is not apocalyptically bad, if it's not like as hard as a rock, you're going to get run with that dual stage. So, well, it's either that or put a, let me get right up here, put a really soft single stage in it, and I don't know how much of an improvement that would be. So, I was suitably underwhelmed by the overall performance of the MOZA 1.9 because they landed in the worst of possible ways, in my estimation, and that is that they were neither truly great nor truly terrible. They were simply okay. And why this works against the Rhino, and why I may be carrying just a smidgen, just a skosh of a preconceived notion into bubble juice into the test here, is that these are not cheap. These are priced kind of right in the middle market, in between. You got J Concepts over here and you got Proline over here, like right in between the two. They used to be much more expensive. Now on AliExpress, they're about $30 a pair, and I don't know if they come with a single stage or a dual stage. I'm not sure. I'm assuming they come outfitted this way. You can get a full set on Amazon as of the time of this recording for $60, which is exactly the same as $30 a pair on AliExpress. Or the one that kind of sings out is on Amazon and AliExpress as well. You can get these coupled with 2.2 carbon fiber, the really light carbon fiber beadlocks, for about $90. $90 is a big shot, but ordinarily you'll pay about $60, $50 to $60 just for the carbon fiber beadlocks. So it's kind of like getting a pair of tires for free, or getting half off the rims. These went together with great ease. The first three of 4. Had absolutely no issues during assembly, and I did not imagine that these would either. Now, that is because they are quite narrow. On the sidewall, they're claiming 1.7, and I believe them when they say it. It's about the width of a typical Class 2, but tall. I know a lot of people definitely favor that skinnier width of a tire. We will see. They're going on Wolverine. They're going on the Class 3 protocol. They have things that they have to prove a capability to do, because a Class 3 tire is, yes, well and truly indeed, judged more harshly than a 2.2 than a Class 2 tire. Because this is oh no, this is my worry. That we're going to get that bowling out. Going on Wolverine, we know what Wolverine weighs. He is a man of 3,000 grams. Those look pretty good. You thought I almost forgot to do it, didn't you? You thought I almost forgot. But this was under Wolverine at the time. Look at that. We do forget every now and again. We've only done this like 150 times. Why would we not forget to size the tires regularly? Because we do. 143, which is 5 9/16. So we're just a little bit under, and I think that has everything to do with that feels great. But this isn't a proper Sportsman, which would probably weigh about a pound less. So do take that into consideration. 40. I'm going to go 46, which is dead on 1 3/4. That is definitely close enough to satisfy. Now, if we mounted it on a wheel with a narrower beadlock ring, would that prevent the foam from sliding around? Maybe. But what I'm noticing is I can feel it here. I can feel the outer foam moving independently of the inner foam. Glue stick, maybe? Glue, give them a little adhesion together? I don't know. It's generally not a consideration. It's not something that we have to think about. But take it definitely. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're trying to get there. So, let's see, what do we got? It's not overbagged. This is probably okay. And you know what? Maybe we're over worrying. That looks all right. We get nice and quiet. Doesn't Starsky on us. So, Rhino MOZA 2.2, not to be confused with the 1.9, which looks nothing like it. And before anyone asks, they are fully. It's just a single mold twice. So, unlike a rupture, these little guys right here, they have no direction. See how they're just symmetrical, like a double triangle? So it's a diamond. It's just a diamond. And then we have the one that looks like a racetrack from Gran Turismo. It's just the opposite direction on the other side. So there is no directionality to this tire. There's a front or back. And that's great because more often than not, I would imagine these are going to be fitted to rigs that are four-wheel steer or dig equipped or what have you. And that sort of behavior definitely prefers a tire that is not directional, not heavy on the chevron. It wants a tire that looks like this. So those preconceived notions are based on the fact that the compound and the presentation of the Rhino 1.9 just wasn't quite there at 60 some odd dollars a set for those Rhinos. And particularly when, J-Concepts Green is like the same price or slightly cheaper. So these have a lot to prove. Class 3 protocol. I guess we're going to find out if they're worth it. Now, the more I think about it, the less I think we're going to get one of those mono scores where we just drop 9.5s all the way across. That it's equally good at everything. I think that super thin sidewall, I think that questionable dual stage is going to help. I think it's going to help in stuff like this. A little bit of Scrabble, but we'll give it a couple passes. They got to get to know each other. They are very fresh mounted. Want everything to kind of settle together. Ooh. Steering response, I'm watching the front end smudge over a little bit. You see that push? But it'll cut the push back. Yeah. Let's come straight down here. Let's see right here. Yeah. The compound, which I would assume is the same from the 1.9 to the 2.2, but I can't guarantee it. That's got some real hold. That's got some real hold to it. Good amount of lug noise, more than I would anticipate with how soft those inserts are. That's, yeah, we're going. We're getting up and we're going. This is not going to help the lore, where after every Class 3 test, a select few folks are like, well, yeah, I mean, Wolverine makes everything work. And, I mean, it's not that he makes everything work, it's that we just might happen to be getting Class 3 combos that are really close to what is suited. We're going real low on the throttle here. Bag. Excessive compliance of the tire is only suitable to be categorized as excessive when it starts to impede forward progress. Like that tire is really smudged on that side, but it's not collapsing. Beadlock ring never touched the ground. We're still pivoting around. It's also not, it wasn't grabbing so hard until I got too far into it that it was causing him to roll. So we're doing a lot of work out on the sidewall. This is a truly good start for the MOZA 2.2. And a thing that will make me say, that necessary disclaimer, your results will almost certainly vary unless, motivated by seeing the process of the building of the Wolverine, you have gone out and located that warehouse full of Intigi AX10 cages that go back probably 15, 18 years, which you can still buy directly from Intigi for $35, and then paired it up with the inexpensive Capra axles of your choice and built yourself a Wolverine. If you do that, and I'm not saying that you should, but I'm saying maybe you should, because it is really receptive to most any tire. So tires that look bad on this platform are really bad. Tires that look tremendous on this are truly tremendous. These are pretty good so far after 10% of the Class 3 protocol. Because we immediately come off of Slick Rock and immediately go up the staircase at Drybone Valley, and if there's an overtransfer, we'll know right away, and there is not. So, I'm watching those rears just, they look like crumpled up lawn garden bags. They're just like, it's kind of surprising. I fully anticipated over collapse. Did not come. Comfortable at a range of speeds. This, ladies and gentlemen, things are looking up, because the performance of the MOZA here at Staircase was better than it was at Slick Rock. We got a little over bags. We got to pull. There we go. Ooh, nice on the reposition there. Hug in tight this side. We want a tire that doesn't try to push wide, and it did not. Oh my. MOZA 2.2, you're doing a thing. You're doing a thing. Any worries about Beadlock ring width. Those are gone now. Come back, swing it right here. Go close rock side. The closer you are to this side, the more difficult the ascent. Trying to grab that. I was trying to grab inside edge of passenger front, of driver front, right here, right there. It's not maxed out precision. This is not old-timey. We're not talking chisel Sedona, even like M2, M3 hammer. We're not quite there. It doesn't have this like, well, M2 hammer maybe, but you get what I'm getting at. Tires like the Panther Cougar, you point it and it goes there. These you've got to hammer them around a little bit, but there's a big difference here. You can go and buy these right now. Here's something that I have as a theory, and it will have to remain regarded as a theory because I think the young stickiness of the compound, I think it's stopping the foams from squidging around. I think that is truly helping in this instance. I won't be able to prove it. This is a Quickview. We test it right now. That rear is collapsing, but it is at the same time not collapsing as much as I thought it would. Yeah, that's not even going to transfer. That's just going to go straight flat. Bam! Bam, everybody. Yeah. Pretty good. Swing it around town. Swing it around town. A little wide. They have a little bit of push, and that little bit of push is not surprising to me because I'm watching the rim, like look at the high side one. Like it's pulled way out past where the rim is. And then on the other side, it's pushed out, so it looks like that on the inside. They're squidging around, but they're not squidging around to a point where it's gonna roll us out. We get good grips. Let's see if we get any lift. Came in a much lower. Almost tried to lift a front, but did not. Far better than I anticipated it doing on the side hill. Far better. Now, if you're entering into the process of building a class 3 KG thing like this, and you were to say to me, what tire should I get? I would be like, scour the internet, try to find chisels, try to find Sedonas, LP ruptures, the hopefully exists sometime in the near future LP megalithic. Now, certainly a consideration here for the Tutu MOZA. Like, these are really solid. These are doing really well, and yeah, with the carbon fiber wheels, we're talking 90 bucks. Plus tax, call it 100. We'd all have to pay the tax. We all have to pay the tax man. You're looking at 100 bucks. Now, can you do better? These are really good. These are really good. I'm coming around to being okay at 30 bucks a pair because it is a dual stage foam and the dual stage foam is functional. There was a time back in ye olden times where the foam that came with tires was amazing. Panther Cougars, Chisels, they come in with these amazing true memory foams. You squeeze it into a ball and it takes like 5 seconds to return to shape. This is just modern era foam. This is just open cell foam, but we've got a insert to tire relationship that is so far absolutely working. All right, Moza, I've been talking you up. Don't let me down. Nice. A little scrabbly. Nice. Very good. Very good. The critical hat has to get tightened down pretty tight when we get into this stuff. This is, to me and for me, this is the real Class 3 stuff. Coming across, we try to mimic the same moves every time. No big over collapse on the front. Very nice on descent. And not near, like I would expect a bigger loss of steering accuracy. There's a little bit. The front kind of smooshes around a little. It's a very soft foam up there. And ordinarily, ooh, I got too much sidewall into it. Ordinarily, when you pair a carcass this soft with an insert this soft, it 'tis recipe for a most delicious disaster. So that passenger front absolutely smudged over. It's all right. Didn't take the rig with it. There we go. Oh, look at that. When you can't see tire, you can just see beadlock ring. Usually it is disastrous. it is, the surprises, they don't come often. They are few and far between. And when I say that, I talk about pleasant surprises. We've had plenty of a thing come out here and been like, oh. The 1.9 MOZA kind of fell into that category, which gave me those preconceived notions, which were thankfully just murderated here by the 2.2. Wow. Now this right here. I don't know if the camera will show it as much as it shows when I'm here, because we lack 3 dimensions. Driver front is in front of a drop-off about the height of the vehicle, about 8-inch just straight drop. So that's going to cause a weight transfer, and we'll get to see if we live up to the Tumbledore name or if the rears can hold us enough. And the drop, kind of skidded rail a little bit. Okay, if we can do the superhero landing, pretty good. Pretty good. The 2.2 MOZA is coming out surprising. On the bench, it did not feel like it was going to be the guy. But out here on the course, these feel every bit like they are the guy. The 1.9s also cost right about the same as these do. The 1.9 test set that was here now live in England, where hopefully they will do better. This is really good. This is really good. These are getting better as the tests go on. Give me a wrap. Give me a wrap. A little wide, like I said. Doesn't have the tightest steering accuracy, but I don't think I would change the front insert. Like, it's not, okay, I might. If you could replace the inner with something firmer, which would help hold that tire up, but leave that soft outer on it, I think this is one of those tires that kind of relies on bagging out. Look at that rear come up, just mushing its way over. They are really manipulable. They don't behave like they're under-supported. They look like they're wildly under-supported. Yeah, this turn right here is not in the wheelhouse of this tire. They did not like it. In terms of drive, though, did I get too high? I don't think so. Really good. Guys, this is a good morning. when they surprise you in the right way, that's nice. These are nice. By the same token, I now expect an immaculate 3-hit here. Should get that edge right there. Cut back right there. There we go. You gotta go a little deeper into that side. We come back soft side. You should dead pull soft side with that amount. Yeah. Easier on that side. You gotta give it a little wiggles. Then we go center cut. How do we do center cut with all the bag? Actually, it was kind of best. Did the center cut kind of the best. Let me give one more conventional side, get a little higher, and then cut it back. There you go. There you go. This is a tire that has not yet refused to do anything that we've asked of it. That's good on the low speed. It's really nice. We gotta hit a big one. Little fallback, no directionality, so it gets a little out of shape, gets a little unpredictable, but not bad. And because we do have a higher level of grip than certainly I anticipated, an actual functional bump is like, we're in that 30% range. They are somewhat evocative of their brethren in the hieroglyphics, of the rover. There's a little rupture flavor to it. The rupture has a more consistent performance profile. These are a little, and I think that's the width. Even the LP rupture is 5 millimeters wider than this, and then shorter. Instead of being a 140, it's like a low 130. So the rupture has that, like, it's more crisp. But these are, particularly compared to the 1.9, these are shockingly good. I feel it is unnecessary to mention that during the execution of this tire test, I have dropped this radio twice. I go to set it down on the bucket chair as I'm setting up the cameras, and I miss the bucket chair and just drop the radio on the ground. Okay, I tried to get real deep out. I really wanted to see it. But on the entry, very good. Very good. We need to hug. Fantastic on the save right there. Get it up and over. Cut it back. Really nice. Give me one more. I want to see it. Repeatability is hyper important here. Yeah, that entry looks really good. I can't quite hit as high of a line as I would like to, and I think the front end just kind of smushes. Now, if we don't have to worry about markers, like if you're not worried about gates, then you're not really going to have a problem. We have done the pre-math because all we have left is wet. I do not anticipate a drop in performance. The only question is this going to be a flat wet performance, meaning they don't lose the 10th? Is this going to be loss of a 10th, 2/10 loss? I feel so good about the 2.2 MOZA right now. I feel like they might flat it. I feel like we might go even. Get right through the puddles. Kind of just clean the rocks off. Let me cut it early and get back around soon. Come in harder side. Yeah. These don't know the rocks are wet. Actually, a little better. They're a little better in the wet. Yeah. Lug noise. Get right here. Okay. No steering input. Extremely low throttle input. That's nice. That's really nice. That is what a lot of tires seem to strive for and fail to hit. That being a tire that has competent wet performance, but doesn't suffer in the dry. The one that always hops to the top of my brain, not relevant to this test, is the Vanquish VXT2, which is the tire that stands above all others as being inexplicably so much better in the wet than it is in the dry. Like, if it gets dusty, that tire goes, yeah, I'm just going to clock out early today, Chief. This one landed after the final, 97.5. And you are in good company at a 97.5. That is tied with the Tusk, the 1.9 Class 1 J-Concepts Tusk. That is tied with the 1.9 J-Concepts The Hold. And if you're talking green, you're talking good. That is also in a virtual tie with the 2.2 Duratrax Deepwoods, now discontinued. And just above the Proline Ibex, the Pitbull Brave and Blood Axe, the Proline Moab. Just below Mickey Thompson Baja MTZ, Baja Claw TTC, J-Concepts Megalithic. So what you're going to see up there is X2SS. I would put... I put green as the top compound in terms of overall performance in the environment that I test. Immediately below that, in second place, is RC 4-wheel drive's X2SS. Not under any circumstances to be confused with X2S3, which is, as Charles Barkley would say, terrible. X2SS is fantastic. That is why the MTZ and the Baja Claw are right up there. I would put right below, in a mixed neighborhood of other compounds, along like Duratrax C3, I would put whatever Rhino is claiming that their tires are made out of. I would put that compound right in there in a C3, Trexus S1, in that territory. Better than G8 now. I can say better than G8 from here because we tested in near optimal conditions. It's the upper 50s. Humidity is right in around a 40 to 50% range. I know I should get a Celsius. It is 58 degrees freedom units, 14 Celsius, close as I can tell, 40% relative humidity. This is an excellent set of conditions for tire testing, and I don't know if the Moza benefited more or not. These tires were sent in on loan by one of the lovely followers and supporters of the Canyon, and they will be returning to their home in Simi Valley, which gets as hot or nearly as hot as it gets here. So hopefully I will hear back from the owner of these tires as time goes on. If they try to take them out and crawl up some rocks in June in Southern California, where it is not atypical to see triple digits in freedom units, getting into up high 30s, low 40s in Celsius. We live in the desert. It gets quite hot here. I hope to find out how the Rhino compound does under those circumstances. Today, you can't take away its 97.5. These did really well, and I have to look at the phone one more time. Where did the 1.9 Rhino land? Oh, I'm scrolling a lot. 96.5. I was looking too low. That was right between 1.9 BFG Crawler and a 1.9 Scorpio, which was what made me angry because if there's something to be said about... I made an unintentional aim for how they score wine right? That the wine scores that you see on a bottle of wine. And if you don't drink wine, I don't drink wine. I would buy, like, there's a bottle of wine that has a bear breathing fire on the bottle. I would buy that. There's another bottle with Snoop Dogg on it. I would buy that. I know nothing about wine. But I do know that if a wine gets a 94 score and then another wine gets a 93 score, some guys are going to be like, oh, don't drink that one. And if a wine gets an 88 score, they're like, you might as well just wait for it to turn into vinegar in the closet. So that's what's happened here. Half looking at it and half unintentionally, which is a 97.5 is significantly better than a 96.5. The 96.5 of the Moza was enough that I gave them away. These I would keep, but they're not mine to keep. So 97.5 for the 2.2 Moza. Yeah, this is a solid alternative, particularly if you live in a place where the weather is frequently and commonly 14 degrees Celsius and 40% relative humidity. Because I feel like they're tacky enough that we might have some heat loss. I don't know. I can't test it. We won't be into the realm of heat loss for another 3 months. I won't have these here in 3 days. So take it as you will. Grains of salt, wherever necessary. Season to your liking. While you're seasoning, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here in the canyon with whatever we happen to be doing next. And I hope that you join us for that as well. Wolverine and I, thank you so much. We were pleasantly surprised by the Moza 2.2. Overall, a pretty good way to start the day.